hope your Mondays are doing well so far. I hope to be able to even finish this topic. I know I won't be able to finish this topic as adequately as I would like to, but I hope that I at least get out all my points for this topic. So, I want to start by saying this respectfully. My opinions on this topic are not the be all, end all, but I have no problem in saying that I have a lot of expertise on the topic. No, the expertise is not a psychology degree. The expertise is not um, a qualification for being a psychiatrist. I don't have those type of qualifications. The type of qualifications that I have are that I have my own diagnosis for clinical depression that I have held for 13 years. I have an extensive work background now that I've been working for the last 10 to 12 years as a peer specialist, now as a case manager, but I have worked alongside many social workers, psychiatrists. I've gotten a lot of information on this very topic, which qualifies me very well to know what I'm talking about. But before I even got into the work side of things, what I did was I did a lot of research on what depression is, what it comes from, and what's the cure, because I did not want to believe that there wasn't a cure. So where I started was with the chemical imbalances that they always talk about. That's the first thing. When they study the science behind depression, they've done a lot of clinical studies where they study people's brains and they say a chemical imbalance causes you to have depression. Whether that chemical imbalance is with your serotonin, you can look that stuff up. It's out there. There's a lot of things that I've read out there about the chemical imbalances, right? And then people have different answers about how you can achieve the balance. You can retrain the brain to fire off the right way for your depression not to exist. Now, some people will say that's through your foods. Some people are going to tell you that's through meditation. Some people are going to tell you that's through medication. Some people are going to tell you you go to the chiropractor. The chiropractor is going to assist with that, and it's going to be cured that way. Some people are going to tell you acupuncture. Some people are going to tell you hypnotherapy. I've done every single one of those things that I just listed. When I started out, I went online and I found some programs online that said, we have the cure for depression. It doesn't require medication. It just requires challenging your negative thinking. It gave certain methods. It gave stuff about meditation. It gave things about positive affirmations. All good stuff, but no cure. These are all just tools to assist you when your depression feels unmanageable. They're just tools and suggestions for that. Let me see. So, yeah, that program was giving me different methods that were not about medication, that said that you can cure anxiety and depression and get rid of it forever. So at that point in time, that's what I thought that I was going to be able to do. Then I tried the acupuncture. Did the acupuncture help me? Not really, to be honest. But I was willing to try whatever. I tried the hypnotherapy. It was basically I went in a dark room. I think they played some kind of soft meditation music, and then I had the hypnotherapist in there. Basically, if you've ever listened to one of those guided imagery things, that's what it felt like. Okay, now You're on the beach and it's sunny and the wind is blowing. You can feel the waves. Your anxiety is being released, yada yada. And I'm not saying that that doesn't work. I'm just saying that's not an anxiety cure. And I think that to me, that's also kind of a placebo effect. You know, if you want that to make you feel better and you believe that it's going to make you feel better, it is going to assist you in feeling better. Where did I go from hypnotherapy? Acupuncture, hypnotherapy, talk therapy. I did plenty of years of talk therapy. So when people tell me, hey, I suggest that you go see a clinician, I'm like, I'm very familiar with seeing clinicians. And if you even hear me talk about depression for somebody who has never gone to a clinician, or even for someone who has, I'll recommend going to a clinician to understand what is happening in your brain. But the understanding of what's happening in your brain, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the DBT, I've gone through it all. I've gone through, I can't say every possible thing because I have not done, they've recently been doing, what's this stuff called? Ketamine. They've been doing ketamine trials where people get these micro dosages of ketamine, which puts them in this hallucinogenic state for a temporary amount of time. I don't mess with that. What's the other one? ECT, electric compulsive therapy, which is different now than it used to be. It's shock therapy, basically, which is supposed to kind of shock your brain back into balance. Some people swear by that. I had a client who was telling me that ECT worked amazingly for them. I've had clients tell me that, what's the other one? The ketamine trials. Somebody told me the ketamine trials cured their depression. This is all relative in a state of mind, though. This is what I'm trying to say. This is all relative and in your state of mind. If you are going to these ketamine trials and you have to consistently get this ketamine in order for yourself to feel balanced, I wouldn't call that a cure. Like, a cure to me is you go somewhere to get a treatment for something and the treatment removes it from you and it's gone. So that's what I mean by when I say no cure. This is not even an attempt to be negative or to knock anybody's methods of what makes them feel better when it comes to depression. Because a lot of things make me feel better. I'm walking right now. One thing that I know is that when I get outside my house, especially when the weather is nice like it is now, and I take walks, it physically and mentally makes me feel significantly better than if I was laying in my bed. That's a proven thing. But when I eat better, I feel better also. You know, when I'm eating healthy foods, when I'm having the appropriate amount of fiber, I'm drinking enough water, when I'm not eating fried foods and I'm lighter on the carbs, all of those things help. For me, listening to music, playing music, and listening to music, those things help me. Writing, when I go to the gym. There's a lot of things that will take my depression from like a 9 or a 10 to like a 2 or a 3. But on my best day, like on the best day of my life, it's gonna be at a 1 or a 2. Now that 1 and that 2 is not gonna be something that necessarily bothers me or disrupts my life, or I might not even be thinking about it for that day or for that time period, but it's still there. So I appreciate the people that say, this is the answer, this is the answer, this is the answer. There's millions and millions of dollars of research into the brain and how the brain works. And there's brilliant scientists that dedicate their whole life to studying this. They don't have the answers. You don't have the answer, Sway. You don't got the answer, Sway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Kanye West Sway interview. You don't got the answers. My bestie's got to know about this secret life. Isn't that how Matthew Perry died? Morning, Cass. Morning, Colleen. Yeah, so there's not a singular cure. It doesn't exist. And if they had one, somebody would be making a lot of money with that miracle cure that takes this from something that you have, that you get diagnosed with, to something that just doesn't exist in your life anymore. All the things that I ever see people suggest to me, especially online, are things that I've already done. I still remember I went on a 2-week carrot juice diet because this person, and it was like carrot juice along with a supplement package, and it was like this 2-week juice diet, and they told me that along with a 10-minute lunch walk every day for my digestion was going to remove the depression from my life. And I did it, and I don't know, I felt hungry. Actually, I felt hungry and lightheaded. And then after that, I think I went to another doctor. I went to a general physician. I tried Xanax. I was on the whole run of pills that were out at that time. I know that some of my clients still take now, so when they talk to me about their medications, I'm familiar with quite a few of them because I was on quite a few of them. The pills, the thing is, I want to be responsible with what I say about the pills, because some people are like, oh, I'm anti-pill, so don't take any medications because they're poisoning you. I'm not going to say that, because I have family members who require medication because of the severity of the mental illness that they have going on. And some people require the medication. It's just a fact. Maybe one day there will be something better that assists people, but in the world that we're in right now, I know that some people have really significant problems with their mental health that require their medications for stability. Now, what I'm going to say is that people that are on the lower end of that spectrum often get over-medicated. I still remember this 18, 19-year-old that came into my office back when I was doing peer counseling in the office. And he had a foster parent. He had a foster mother. And the foster mother made it clear that she only adopted him for the money. She would tell him that. And she would do a lot of things. Yeah, that's why I skip the comment section sometimes. Anyways, she would do a lot of things to this guy that would make him upset. And they were things that would make me upset too. She would change the lock on him. She would tell him, you have to come home by a certain time. And if you don't get back by that time, she would change the locks on the house and leave him locked out of the house. And he would have to fend for himself. So he came into my office, and he had never actually even seen a therapist. He had just been medicated. So he was talking to me, and he was like, my stepmom keeps telling me that I'm useless, that I'm trash, that she hates me, that nobody else in this world is gonna love me. And I said, I was like, wow, that's harsh. I'm sorry that she's saying those things to you. Have you ever spoken to a licensed clinician about this? Yeah, I feel the same way too, Tammy. I said, did you speak to a licensed clinician about this at any point, or have you spoken to anybody about this? And he was like, no, but they gave me Clonopin, and they gave me Buspirone, and they gave me whatever. He had a list of 6, 7, 8 different medications that they started giving him from the time he was 12. And I was like, your feelings on what she is saying to you are valid, and you're not being treated right. He was like, nobody has ever said that to me. The psychiatrist has been seeing me for like 6, 7 years, and he just gives me the medication. And he was like, is this helping? And he's like, I guess it's helping. I don't really feel emotions anymore. I don't feel angry or sad. I just kind of feel flatlined all the time. And I was thinking, that's really sad, because his environment and his home is causing a lot of this, if not all of it. But it's being labeled as depression when it's kind of a situational depression. And those can possibly be cured by getting the person into the right environment. And those can possibly be cured by things like affirmations and, getting yourself involved in things that are purposeful for you, getting away from those triggers, because you don't really know if somebody has an actual, this is part of their DNA, or if this is part of what happens to be going on around them. Those cases can be kind of cured, but I don't consider those as clinical depression, because there's depression, situational depression, and there's clinical depression. Like, I know people who basically never really experienced depression for the majority of their life, and then they go through some kind of tragedy, then they start to experience the depression afterwards. But to wrap it up, when I say there's no cure for depression, I'm not saying that to take away anybody's hope. I'm just saying that because I would like people to have a more realistic view of what a clinical diagnosis of depression means. It's a predisposition. It's not something that you can just have and then not have. It's not something that you can get diagnosed with and then, all of a sudden you eat right and it's not there. All of a sudden you go to your hypnotherapist or your acupuncturist or your chiropractor, or you take your magic pill, or you get yourself into some kind of amazing hobby that you love. Listen, anything that helps, any healthy thing, I'm going to say, that helps with your depression, do it. Do it as much as you can. Do it often. Make sure that it's a part of your regular schedule. But don't be naive enough to think that one thing is going to completely take it away. I would just suggest looking at it as your formula, your combination of things that provide you with relief from the depression, and make it more of background noise. Implement all those things into your life, because it's going to be a combination. It's not going to be one thing. If it's eating, if it's exercise, if it's talking to a loved one, if it's seeing a therapist, do all of those things. Just know that some days it's going to be good to where you might not even notice its presence in your life, and some days it's going to be bad. It's like, I use the example of walking with a weighted vest, except the weighted vest that you can't choose. Like, I can choose to put on a weighted vest when I work out because I'm trying to get stronger wearing the weighted vest. Depression is the weighted vest that I never asked for, that is just on me no matter what. And some days when I feel strong, I might barely notice or not notice it at all. But other days, I could wake up and be like, This is extremely heavy. I get tired of trying to explain this, but I also think it's important for me to explain as somebody who experiences it. Because sometimes when I talk to people who don't, talking about it is alarming to them. I've gotten to the point where I would know whether to say I'm in danger here. Like I'm in a point where I'm in significant need of some help versus being like, okay, I'm going through one of those depressive states and I just want to talk through it. It's two different things. But anyways, let me know in the comments, because I know that a lot of people have this experience, especially a lot of people that follow this page. I'm hopping off. Man, I got a lot to do today, but thank you for joining me. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Have a great day, y'all.